How are things coming? My pupil, Johann Weyer, said he found a way to take me with him beyond the stars. But I was too afraid. And now, all I can do is regret it.
Cool. My name is Wolf. Welcome back to Amnesia. I unfortunately had to do looking into to see how this is done, but turns out it was fucking miles off. As soon as I had to go back up the spiral case and you find it there. Turns out that was actually 2, so I feel I don't know, I'm nervous. Escape the sewers to be a machine somewhere 2 liters. That's a fucking dead end. That's useless door. Ah, there you go. Can't believe I asked you about this.
Daniel, you have gone too far. I have to stop you. I can't let you proceed any further. I'm sorry, my friend.
Not good. That must be the door that was bump budge. Let's close that.
Ah, you again. You got the doors open? Good going. I knew you could do it.
Okay, well, you know. I got curious. Fuck did it spawn me, really? Crazy.
How are things coming? I've always hoped fire would return and give me a second chance. But so does that.
Yeah, Transit. Such filthy thought. Good man can safely cheer the departure as he had nothing but burden to mankind. This shall not be missed. Oh god, I don't like this.
The staircase is inspired by The Haunting, the black and white version. I really love spiral staircases and I find there's something ominous about them. Also worth noting is that torture devices in the level are all real and that things similar to those depicted had happened in real life, even in present days. For example, strappado is still a common torture method. As discussed in another commentary spot, we try to take the subject seriously and stay away from just divulging in gore and stuff.
How much more, Baron? How much more am I supposed to withstand? Kill me, Lord! Kill me!
This one, prepare him.
If you're wondering why, since that's one of those things, I don't move anymore. Alexander's gonna try and stop me now. Let's just check. Alexander?
It's kind of fun, or perhaps I should say disturbing, that the methods Alexander describes in the note could almost be used to describe how we do horror. I will let you draw your own conclusions from that.
Notes and torture. There are quite a few things to be said about torture. I had figured that the reaction I would get from the victims would be highly individual. Thankfully, this is not the case. Humans all have a very similar approach to dealing with physical pain and the terror of anticipation. I can't stress enough the importance of restraining the victims before proceeding. Even the most timid creature can break out in fits of violence, when their strength exceeds their expected prowess. If proper care is put into breaking the victim, this should not be a problem. But it was also hidden at the effect I am after. My steps I have to take are, therefore, to restrain while the victim is still dazed. Proceed by presenting the form of torture you were to apply, and then continue with the actual act. The point of the presentation is to infuse terror. The human mind is extremely efficient and will trigger itself into greater fear simply by imagining it. While applying pain, make sure to avoid massive damage or will prove more efficient if the process can be sustained. Also apply the pain in doses, if possible with breaks so that the body settle. If you are whipping or cutting the victim, strike once, wait for the pain to subdue, and then strike again. As long as the body suffers, it will continue to produce the vitae and saturate the blood with its properties. Only with careful performance will the victim yield maximum effect. Vitae? If the victim does not behave as expected, it is likely that all will be for naught. Before this happens, feed them the amnesia drink. Try again later. The thing is, the mind might not remember, but the body will. It's kind of like instinct in a way. Alright, we're gonna do one of these things. It's true, my love. I miss the most. It was just myself. I know I have become. I am not blind. I am a monster to them. A demonic sultan perched in a dark mountain top. There's little I can do to redeem myself. The Black Eagle fears me, and after Napoleon's defeat, it's only a matter of time before they will demand my head on a platter. I must remove myself from this land. This time it must work. If I can't return home now, I shall perish. Oil was so useful. I have plenty of oil, which is vital. So now there's no hidden secrets or some shit. I forget how you rotate. Oh, not that bad. Oh, there we go. Too big. Give me a second. There we go. This shit doesn't do fuck all. You know. Oh god, what was the fucking peeling thing or some shit? Oh, it's that way, that's the way. Oh, hell no. It's really simple, it just does not respond. Let's just leave that there, shall we? There we go. Like that shit. That's right. Fuck. the developers were very fucking clever. Closing that shit, dude. That's nice. Ooh, piece of ore, there we go. Draped his hand upside down, his tears soiled with blood flooding from his belly. The saw between his legs had lodged itself in the hip and won't move any further. The man stepped back and waited for the victim to drain. That's nice. Do you reckon he saw what was coming? I'm not sorry for that, I really am. Okay, that one's done. I have to figure out that door open. I shoot myself for a second.
The cradle is ready.
Good.
You're a man. How can you partake in this?
Is he all right? He is one of the wicked. Don't pay his lies any attention.
I'm not a bad man. It was an accident.
He set a man on fire.
It wasn't my fault. Why won't anyone listen?
That's horrible. Of course. We are dealing with monsters here.
Use him sprinting because fuck this shit.
Please, do anything. Whatever you want. Anything. Do anything. I feel
Nice. There it is. Right, I'm not becoming very nervous because I've got one more room to get through. As soon as I've gone through that room, I've got a nervous feeling that a whole bunch of enemies are going to spawn in. Will explain why this room is so big. Saying that it took me repair and whatever. Apparently it's justified. Shut up. Still does miss. Don't make any use of that. I'm so close on them because I'm getting really paranoid. Ouch. The kidnapper sat on her knees, with her hands tied behind her back. She felt her hands being lifted and her body followed. Her shoulders gave way to the weight of her own body and cracked loudly. The suspended woman cried hysterically as the man contemplated their next step. Oh, Jesus. Ow. That doesn't make me feel any more easy. Feet are curled up. Just not fucking about that. still doesn't make me feel any better. He had gone too far. The man was suffocating as long as he could no longer breathe properly between the losses. Displeased, he started to look for the Damascus rose oil.
Was there something else? You seem to have found all the orb pieces used in the transfer. Go to the choir and find the rest.
I don't know if you can find in the choir. Right. Let's see what the orb could be used for now. Still doesn't make me feel uneasy. Alright, let's find the rest of the pieces. Really shouldn't be something like that, but loads. Lord. Lord, sorry. Yeah. Some of these things are and called the Order of the Black Eagle spewed their politics outside of lasted quietly and played, willfully forgotten. Once in a while some will notice me and lose themselves in the silent car while regaining their senses. They all know I am the one and the same Alexander who helped their fathers and grandfathers to find this great order. I see them take their fathers' places, and they too grow old and pass away, while I remain the same, aged not by time, but by anguish. Aquapid channels where taunts me from the other side. I trusted him my true reason for my efforts. Still he insisted on releasing Agrippa. How an enlightened man can such a lack of compassion and seize the power to disgust me. I can't bring myself to be a part of Agrippa as he is, and has been for centuries my only link to the worlds beyond. Where he claims he tries his best to release me from my banishment, but he needs me to give him but he needs me to give him Agrippa first, so he too can help. If he could guarantee success, I would happily oblige, but how am I to part from him if my return might be denied? I know what they are capable of. I have seen their deception. Optimism is the most hopeless feeling, but I must retain it. I shall prepare for his release. To release Agrippa without killing him, they told me to feed him a tonic made from paralyzer, vitae, and tamter. Poisonous fungi would work as a paralyzer if I can find the internal gland from a large specimen. Crap. The choir seems to be the fertile ground for this sort. I should be able to extract its contents with the proper tools. The vitae could be extracted as used from any agonized human victim's blood. I just need large amounts to distill it properly. Remember to collect this during the next torture session. Tamter on the other hand will prove more difficult, for fuck's sake. There's always something. I don't think it exists in this world. Simply writing the letters looks wrong. Who's the property of the secretion in the water dwelling? Ken? Whatever. I'll have to address Waya with this to supply me with a host. Also, properly repaired wells suffice to contain it. What? Excuse me. One of speaks of a mixture made with 3 ingredients. Yeah, we know that. Fear began to drown him again. He reached once more for the antibiotic blood and was frustrated specific, but was something from the beginning of the game.
15th of August, 1839. The Blood Wards are failing. The shadow beckons, and its cry disarms my actions. Hurry. No time to spare. You have to kill another. Alexander produces a knife. He wants me to cut the flesh. Do it. Save yourself. He is a murderer, Daniel. He is evil. A cold-blooded killer. Hurry. Alexander, you must let me be. I have to concentrate. Take the man, cut the lines, cut the flesh, watch the blood spill, let it come. I didn't do anything. Take the man, cut the lines, paint the man, cut the lines. Leave the man cries. I did well. One life for another. You hear me, guardian of the orb? I did all this for you. Now, once more, withdraw your shadow from my domain.
Nice.
Alexander, there isn't much time. I can feel it. We must act swiftly. I will do whatever it takes.
I didn't know how to kill the prisoner. Do it all again.
For the torture levels, it was not all that fun to make the sounds. It has a nerve-wracking feeling to it, and I can't say that it is completely enjoyable to make entertainment out of such horrible contraptions. This part of the game is not for show and fun. Its purpose is to create an instinctive feel of horror and repulsion to what these devices are capable of. In the vision, as Daniel performs the ritual, the muffled sound of the man on the table is my own voice. I do some exclusive appearances throughout the game. In fact, in open number games I am fairly certain there is a Jens here and there. But nothing prior has been so disturbing to work with as in this vision, when having to tweak the flow and style of the events, and at the same time having to hear your own panicking, pleading, muffled voice.
I'll be honest, as bad as all is, it's very good design. It just makes you think what they had to sacrifice just to survive. Holy shit. But that was for PvP, it's possible I don't read it again if you want. Most of the guys are mid the game. I'm not moving. No, that's me.
What are my intentions, Daniel? Salvation. It used to be yours, but now you only seek misplaced revenge. How do you justify your violence? Is it for the greater good? Are you doing the world a service?
I actually don't know.
It is you who caused all this pain and death. If you had accepted your fate and submitted to the orb when you first discovered it, none of this would have happened. It is curiosity in league with your selfishness that is killing us both.
The inspiration for this level came from the first Silent Hill game, when you run around in the town. I wanted to recreate the feeling of being lost, knowing that dangerous creatures lurked in the fog. I did not really like the map in the Silent Hill games though, as you always had to switch back and forth between it. So in all our games we tried to come up with other ways to help the player navigate. In this level, it's meant that you should follow the pipes. This was not really apparent to all people though, and that's why there's a little event at the start.
Yeah, this knows the sprinting, fuck it. Oh Jesus. What? Crap. Let's follow this pipe. Fuck you and just start again. How's everything like? That's fine, that's fine. Well, Daniel. Open, motherfucker. What's all this to hide in that? That's a sign. Let's check here first. Oh, you fucking dickhead. Fuck me. The forest is stood absolutely still. The casket had been closed, but a faint light made its way inside. Maybe he had a spike pointed at him. Glistening as I waited for his body to slip just for a moment. His knee jerked and he felt blood trickle down his leg. In pain, his head fell slightly forward. It's come a while to realize his had been ruptured and began to leak. I wouldn't dare stand it. I was not expecting that there from his ass. We'll have a bone to pick with him.
Who are you to question me?
Shh, I still need to find it. This one assumes it's a piece of orb. Alright, there's a third one, a fourth one even. In the back of my mind, it's saying, go fuck it, just run through everything as fast as you can. That's how it was going to. My mind has that now. This game does is plays and refuses the other one, makes you think other one to continue. At the same time, why would they send an enemy after you before you got all of the pieces of the orb? If that makes any sense. Ignore what I just said, it turns out I was wrong. Again, keep it behind me, so my eyes can scan everything.
The wheel is good for keeping your victims still during the procedure. They can be bound around the circumference or simply stretched across, tying limbs to the spokes and rim. All tools are by this point useful, and you may administer the torture in any way you like. But the forte of the wheel is the gaps. When you have decided that the victim shall die, you can smash their limbs with a hammer, making them fold in between the fray.
But they'll die. Too quickly, I mean.
No, don't worry. The human body is much more resilient. They can survive for days until they finally succumb.
Let's piss you up. Fucking hell, get scared by a fucking cloud. Oh, Tinder. It's gone. There's the last one I'm for. Wait. Listen to this. That's one of the things I needed, so it kind of helps me. What the fuck? Yeah, give me a second. Just gonna... Notes. Wait, poisonous fungi have got that. Read tiny speech from an agonized human victim's blood. Adrenaline, I guess in? And time to learn it having to be more difficult. These properties secretion in the water dwelling thing. After this is like a host, so we need a host for it. Me, obviously. Sticky gland. Oh, I think I know what this is. Heat. Actually, I didn't know what to think of the vast bullet was just forced to enter it. When he said heat, yep. Also, heat of fire began to scorch the skin, cook his flesh to do with it to be his tomb. Screams of pain echoed inside the brass chamber and travelled through the compass instrument, which was the bull's head. Outside the man could hear the brazen bull bellow. Huh, guess it's so loud. Probably better turn on anyway. Shit, this is in here. There you go. With these limbs tied to the spokes of the wheel, it turns the wheel slowly, but the intent so the rope secured on his leg stretched and cracked the bone. She no longer had the strength to scream. The two men looked at each other, knowing they took a hammer and stood the victim's chest in a final act of mercy. Except for that. I've checked off the rooms. It might be something to do with the program. We have to reset the map or make them lose somewhere. But we'll leave it here. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you may figure out what happened to the sixth one and may have fucked up. He might have been inside the ball and I didn't realise. So I'm gonna figure that out. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe for more of updates on when I upload and when I do live streams, so I get back into them. Thank you all for watching, and see you all in the next one.